Hey everyone, so let's jump right into a really big question. Are we, as a species, living beyond our planet's means? And to even begin to answer that, we first have to ask, how do we measure something like that? How do we measure our impact on a world with, finite resources? This quote, wow, it comes from a famous report back in 1972, but it feels like it could have been written yesterday. It's been setting the stage for this exact conversation for over 50 years because it points out a really simple, almost mathematical problem.
Okay, so if we accept that infinite growth isn't possible, then what? We've got to have a way to measure what those limits actually are, right? We need some kind of ruler, an ecological yardstick, to figure out where we stand. And it turns out we have one. It all starts with this core idea, a truly fundamental concept that's basically an unbreakable rule of nature.
So that report used what were, for the time, super powerful computer models. They crunched the numbers on population growth, pollution, resource use, and the warning they came back with was pretty direct. It said if we just keep on with business as usual, we're going to hit a wall, and that could risk a really sudden, pretty catastrophic collapse.
So what is this wall they were talking about? Well, in ecology, this idea of a natural limit has a very specific name. It's called carrying capacity. Think of it like this. Every ecosystem, whether it's a small pond or the entire planet, has a budget. It has a finite amount of food, water, and space. The carrying capacity is the absolute maximum population that ecosystem can support, for the long haul, without completely wrecking itself. And here's how it's supposed to work. In any balanced system, you see this classic S-curve. A population starts out small, resources are everywhere, so it grows like crazy, but as it gets closer to that carrying capacity, that limit, growth naturally starts to slow down, and then it levels off. It's like nature's built-in braking system.
So, what happens if a species just blows right past that stop sign? What happens when you slam on the accelerator instead of the brakes? Well, that's when you get into a really dangerous situation called overshoot. The population is now consuming resources way faster than the environment can replenish them. You're not just living off the interest anymore, you're eating into the principal, and that causes the carrying capacity itself to drop, which pretty much always leads to a population crash.
Okay, so how does this apply to us, to all of humanity? Well, let's think of it like a global budget. Let's take a look at our planet's annual bill.
Here's how the accounting works. On one side, you have our demand, which we call our ecological footprint. This measures everything we take from nature, the food, the fiber, the timber, and all the waste we produce. On the other side is nature's supply, its biocapacity. That's the planet's ability to create those resources and absorb our waste. It's what we spend versus what nature earns.
So what's the biggest line item on our global expense report? Well, it's not even close. A whopping 60% of our entire ecological footprint is just our carbon footprint. That's basically the amount of forest land we'd need to soak up all the carbon dioxide we're pumping out. It is by far the biggest driver of our demand on the planet.
And when our footprint, our demand, gets bigger than the planet's biocapacity, its supply, we find ourselves in what's called an ecological deficit. This is the official term for global-scale overshoot. We're spending our natural capital way faster than it can ever regenerate.
So, where do we stand right now, today? Well, the latest data shows that humanity is currently using the resources of 1.7 Earths. Yeah. For every single year that goes by, we are using up 1.7 years' worth of what the planet can provide. We are deep in global overshoot.
Which brings up a pretty big question, right? If we know this, if we have the numbers, why is it so incredibly hard to stop? Well, there's a classic idea from social science that explains the human behavior behind this problem perfectly.
It's best explained with a little story. Imagine a pasture that's open to all herders. Now, for any single herder, the most logical, rational, self-interested thing to do is to add one more cow to their herd, right? They get all the profit from that extra cow, while the cost, a little bit of extra grass being eaten, is shared by everybody. The problem is, when every herder makes that same perfectly rational decision for themselves, the collective result is a total disaster. The pasture gets destroyed and everybody's cows starve.
And that's the whole idea in a nutshell. What makes perfect sense for an individual can lead to a terrible outcome for the entire group. That's the tragedy of the commons. And our shared resources, our atmosphere, our oceans, our planet's biodiversity, that's our common pasture. We are all the herders.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together now and just take a look at the big picture. What does this all mean for us?
So, to recap our planetary balance sheet, nature has an absolute limit, its carrying capacity. We measure our demand on it with the ecological footprint, and we measure nature's ability to keep up with its biocapacity. Right now, our demand is way bigger than the supply, putting us in a state of overshoot. And this whole situation is driven by a dynamic that looks a lot like a global-scale tragedy of the commons.
Look, we've come up with some incredible tools to measure our impact on this planet. We have the data. The science is there. It's pretty clear. So the final, and let's be honest, the hardest question isn't really about measurement anymore. It's about us. It's about our behavior. Can we change it?